Today I'm going to be recharging the AC in this car with AC Pro. This is basically just your R134A refrigerant, which goes into most vehicles. This is a 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee. I have never done this before, so the fact that I'm going to be able to do this, put a video together, should mean that you can do it as well. It's fairly easy. So this pretty much comes as a complete kit, the way that I bought it here. It's got your gauge and your hose and everything you need to put the refrigerant into the car. This is kind of an easy 10-minute job. The nice thing about the AC Pro kit, and this is a $55 kit, but the thing is that when I go to get refills, I can get other canisters, just your standard R134A canisters from Advanced or AutoZone, and they will attach to this hose and gauge. So this is a reusable kit, and those reusable canisters are only about $8 or $9. So once you buy this kit, you've got everything you need. There are some kits I would be aware of out there that are cheaper, but then they require you to buy their refill canisters. And the problem with that is those refill canisters are often about $20, $24 versus the $8 kind of just standard refill canisters. So you're actually saving money in the long run by buying the more expensive kit. And I say that because if your car is low on refrigerant, it probably is an indication that somewhere in there is some sort of leak. I would encourage you to try and find a leak if you have one. If you recharge your car and soon thereafter it is no longer blowing cold, that is a very good indication of a leak. Don't keep recharging it. This stuff is highly toxic to our atmosphere. We really want it to stay in the car. This car is fairly old car. It's about 10 years old. It's never been recharged. It's still blowing somewhat cool, but it's just not cold. So that tells me that this car likely just needs to be recharged and it doesn't have any leaks, and so therefore I'm going to use this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the low pressure AC service port, which is going to be under the hood here. This is designed to fit over that port, and as soon as I get in there you'll see it's a pretty easy port to find. Once we find that port, we'll be able to just attach this. There is on these canisters a safety kind of cap on here. You're going to need to remove that cap. Now here's another important thing. As I said before, R134A is not good for our environment. So once you reattach this gauge, you should not take this back off until your canister is completely empty. And even when the canister is emptied, you need to make sure you find a proper place to dispose of it. It shouldn't just go in your trash. So I'm going to tighten this down. Now that that is completely tightened down, if you're using one of the $8 canisters, it would actually puncture the top. On this canister, it looks like it does have a valve that pushes in as you tighten down. But this is now securely tightened down. You definitely don't want to squeeze this trigger. You don't want to release any of this into the atmosphere. You don't squeeze the trigger until you have this fastened to the AC service port. So on our Jeep, our low pressure AC service port is right here. This is pretty much what it will look like on any car that you work on. So we're going to go ahead and remove this cap. And the first thing that we're going to do before we do anything else with the cap off is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the car on and turn the AC on high. Okay. So I've I've got the AC on maximum cooling, so everything is turned up, the fan's turned up, the temperature's turned all the way down. I've got my AC on, everything's on max right now. So now I'm going to attach the quick attach fitting here to the top of our low pressure AC service port, and then I'm going to read on this gauge where the pressure is on that current AC system. So we'll attach this, attach pretty easily, and now we're going to read the pressure on it. Okay, so I've had this on here for about a minute, and we're getting a low pressure reading, which means that we're going to be charging our AC system. I shook it up a little bit there, but it's still pretty low. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shake this bottle a little bit first, and then we'll start charging the system. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and press the trigger for 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm going to wait until this needle kind of settles down. I just shook the can up. So I'm going to hold it for about 10 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. And there's 10 seconds. Take it off, and we'll see where we sit. And every time you check this, you need to just kind of let the needle sit there for a minute and make sure that it's stabilized in a position so you know where it is. It's also good to kind of shake this between kind of a 3 or 6 o'clock position and back to 12. But while you're squeezing the trigger, you want the can completely upright. I'm going to squeeze it again. This time I'm going to go for 15 seconds. You can see now it's slightly in the green. I actually would like to have this a little further into the green. So I'm going to let that sit there for just a couple seconds to make sure that this is where the needle wants to be, and then I'll go ahead and do it one more time. I'm going to do this one for 10 seconds. It's a little further into the green. Based on the movement of the last one, I think I'm going to go and just shake this a little bit, and then we'll go for another 15 seconds to see if we can get this thing to be a little further in the green here. So here we go. We're going to go for 15 seconds. Give it a second to level out. What I'm going for is something right in the middle of the green. So it's looking to me, after having done this for 10 and 15 seconds and watching it very closely on the green scale, another 20 seconds should put us kind of right dead center there. Still not there. That's almost there. We're in the last stretch here to get that right in the middle where I want it. Now I'm just gonna hold it for 5 or 10 seconds and kind of let that needle just go up just a little bit. I want it a little closer to the 40, not quite at the 40. Right there is exactly where I want it. You want to be very careful that you don't overcharge your system. That is going to cause problems to your air conditioning system. I'm going to let it sit there and just watch it for a little bit. I'm right up on the second L of the filled, and I want to make sure that there are no leaks in the system. Figured while I let that kind of sit there and measure and make sure that we're holding pressure, I'd sit here in our new nice cold AC. It's much colder than it was before. Okay, it's been a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and check and see how our gauge is holding up, see if there's any signs of any leakage within our system. So the gauge is still holding right where I want it to, so that's a good thing. There's really not anything else I need to do right now to this system. It's charged, it's working. If anything, the needle has actually gone up in pressure slightly, so I'm pretty happy with this result. There are kits that you can buy that have dyes in them that will help you find any leaks within your system. If your system is unable to maintain pressure, I would suggest just taking it to a pro. These are great for recharging your system, but if you have a leak, again, the R134A refrigerant is highly toxic to our environment. We don't want to just have it pouring out there. So that's pretty much it. We put our cap back on. The system is fully charged, and you really don't have much to worry about there. So that's pretty much it. AC Pro is very easy to use. Again, you could use this this meter and hose with other R134A refrigerant refills, so that makes this product very attractive. You're going to pay about $55 for the kit, but the refills are like $8-10 after that. So, and you don't have to use the AC Pro Ultra Synthetic. If you don't want to, you could go with a different brand. A lot of different brands will attach to this same attachment here. So I definitely would recommend going with this stuff. Our AC was 10 times cooler after it was charged, but we went from about 10 on our meter here all the way up to just around 40. So, and I've still got some left. I may go ahead and just, check our Tahoe and top that off. So yeah, I think this is a great tool to have around, especially if you live in a hot climate where you're running your AC a lot. You may have to recharge it more than somebody who's not having to use their AC a lot. So investing in one of these will save you big bucks from the auto mechanics. Just please, if you suspect a leak in your system, don't continue using this. Go ahead and get it fixed. You're not helping us, any of us, by running a car that's leaking this stuff out into the atmosphere.